What's happening, good people? It's your man Jay Blaze. Excited you connected with me right here on the Miami Foodies podcast, where we take a couple of minutes and give you a review on some of the coolest places to eat at in the city of Miami, Dade, Broward, and I think West Palm Beach too. It might be, depending on the car situation and if I have gas, that might actually happen too. But I thought it'd be cool because usually I write about, I go on a bunch of different sites and write up a couple of different reviews, but my writing is horrendous. I can say that with no kind of, I can be honest with the fact that my writing is horrible. So I said, why not come up with something different? And since I know a little bit about radio and I've done it for a while, why not do reviews that people can hear and sort of get a breakdown on the food places? Because I know anybody can read it anywhere, but since anybody can also listen, I think it'd be dope. So I said, let me throw some stuff together, see how people react to it. If you like it, please give it a like and share it with your friends. But I think it just gives a different demo when people get to hear from somebody's mouth what they think about a place. So I'm going to be talking today about the Salty Doughnut, which I got a great opportunity to go check out. After hearing a lot about it, I said, and then the pictures sort of got me too on IG. I heard about the Salty Doughnut a couple, I think a month or two ago, where supposedly these donuts were selling out at a rapid rate. And I don't know, in Miami, for some reason, donuts do really, really well, good donuts. And I've gotten to try a lot of the different donut spots that are in the city. So I've been to Moho. I've been to Moho. I've been to Dandy Donuts in Hollywood. Those are two, I would say. The Salty Doughnut is a whole different experience in itself, just because it's in Wynwood. So I enjoyed the fact of going out there. I don't know. It makes you feel younger. It's hippie. Everything is really cool out there, and it's always dope to go out to Wynwood. So got to the location. I think it was a Saturday, 11 o'clock they opened. So when I got there at 10:30-ish, 10:45-ish, there was already a pretty massive line outside. And it's an outside enclosure, so you're like outside sort of chilling on the breeze or whatever. It was a little hot. The line was pretty dense already. And one thing that really stood out when I went to the Salty Doughnut, the setup is really, really nice. A girl would probably say it was really cute because they have a trailer situation where there's a guy barista on the right side. You walk in, they have this vintage sign that says a Salty Doughnut. Everything looks real intentional, actually looks really cool. It's inviting, it's cozy, it gets you excited about getting these donuts that they're about to make or get ready to serve you with. Boxing and branding is really dope. The nice brown box that they use to serve these donuts stamped on with the Salty Doughnut. All these details go into great presentation. Also, when they put these things on IG and all these other social media websites, they do a great job of branding everything, so you don't see something different when you get there. You actually see the exact same thing, but the trailer works, which is really dope. I like the whole setup of everything aesthetically. When you get there, it's pretty they do a good job of, even with the space they have, of making it feel a lot more open than what it is. But I enjoyed it. There's a tent once, so it could be hot. But as soon as you get under the tent, you're good. So I got there, and what stood out was there was this guy, and this is why I knew these donuts were good. As usually what I do when I go to a foodie spot, I'm usually researching or just looking up other articles on the food. So I don't just use Yelp or Google. I go and just do an expand search of like other people, because some of these sites are sort of branded a way where they set you up to fail. So some people will get folks to go up in there and write great reviews, and then if you really start to research and you start figuring out who's really checking this stuff out, you figure out that they just the owner has a couple of friends that are writing reviews to make it seem a lot better than what it really is. So I go under the hashtag, I go on the location, I just I'm into this stuff, so I go looking other different places to make sure. So I stumble upon this article that says that the Salty Doughnut is one of the top 25 places of donuts. I forgot where I got it from. I gotta go look again. But the Salty Doughnut was top 25 in the country. And I was like, are you serious? I'm literally standing in this line about to get a top 25 donut. And I was like, man, I don't know. This could be funny. But hey, it was on a national website that was pretty dope. I got to go back to it and check. I might put the reference on this actual link. But what stood out, and I keep coming back to this, I'm sorry, was that there was this guy full set up to ride on his bike, one of those tight suits. But dude was a little fat. I'm not even front. He was fat. and he had a bike with him, and he literally was the first dude in line. So I was like, yo, this dude's supposed to be working out, and he's like first in line out here to get some donuts. So yeah, whatever. I knew it had to be good if some dude who was sort of going against his own guidelines of health to be sitting up in the line that early in the morning to get his donut first. I guess because he wanted to continue his ride as he was getting, his foodie on. So got to the line. Took us about, they move pretty fast. They're not slow at all. They go pretty fast. They got a system in place. They move people pretty rapidly. The only thing that is not great and sort of puts you in a pressure situation is that when you're getting closer, that's when you start to see the menu. But they do put the menu up later I found out they do put the menu up of the donuts they have that week up on Instagram. So you could, I didn't know I was new to the whole situation. So that's why maybe it got me a little pressured. But even all that, one thing that I know I'm not the only one, because I saw a lot of people do this, is when you get up to the actual person serving you the donuts, you got to sort of stand back and tilt to the side to remember all the flavors, because the donuts aren't as visible as they should be, at least for the customers. But you just turn a little bit to the side, and you can look at this little board they have on the floor, and then you can sort of, say the donuts you want. It's a little awkward sometimes at the beginning when you get there and you do it, but then, if you really don't care and it's not that serious, or maybe I'm missing something, you can still enjoy great donuts. So the donuts that sort of stood out for me, and then the one that really didn't do much. So you can tell, at least me, when I look at a donut and I'm trying to get into the situation of a donut, if they can't keep the simplicity and make a great glazed donut, then that'll sort of tell you the story of what's about to happen. It's like when you go to a Dominican spot or Hispanic spot, beans will tell you the story of the whole ensemble that's about to occur. And so I said, yo, let me get a glaze first to start out, see how that's gonna roll. And I was like, yo, this glaze, this is a problem. This could be pretty amazing. Dough was consistent. I wouldn't say it's the best glazed donut I have, but it was on par. And a couple of things that really stood out was the dough was nice and soft, and it had actual flavor. So I've gone to places where you get a donut, it's fried, it's dough, but there's no real flavor in the dough. So they're not taking the time on those small details. At the Salty Doughnut, they do. So the donut that most stood out to me, that kept me saying, yo, I'm coming back here, were two. The maple bacon donut, which is amazing. I put up a picture on IG. People were going crazy. And they do it a little different. Usually most places that do donuts, they do a big long donut. Some do it with custard inside, some don't. Like Shake Shack, the Bake Shack in Dania does a log. But this place actually had like a round donut, great maple syrup, awesome salty bacon. It worked. The contrast was great. The donut texture is amazing. I don't know if they're frying or baking them, but they're just different. So there's a lot of detail, not just on what's on top of the donut, but what's in it. And I think that's what makes Salty Doughnut so different. It's not just great toppings on top and giving you quality on top. They're actually spending time on the dough, which I think a lot of places, that donut spots, I've been to Chicago to have donuts. I've been to New York to have donuts. But there's something about the dough at Salty Doughnut that works. So that means if you take off all the extra stuff that's on top, all the sugary glaze, whatever, and the bacon, the dough is just amazing. It's so soft. I bring it to my wife. She loved it. So that was the first one. The butter salted caramel also. I could be saying wrong, but I think it's a salted caramel. Brown sugar salted caramel was brown sugar. No, it's not caramel. It's brown sugar salted. Yeah, I think it's caramel. I got to make sure of that. I could be off. I'm sorry. There was so many donuts, but I know it's brown and I know it's salted, and it was pretty amazing. That donut in itself was on a whole nother level. It had these little bits of salt in the donut on top of the frosting. They sort of glare at you when you're watching them, but then when you taste it, it's just a soft donut, so much delicacy, and then at the same time it's sweet, the salty, it's perfect. It left me like, yo, this donut is worth the trip from my house in Hollywood. It takes me about 20 minutes, 25 minutes to get down there, wait in line to get this donut. I think this is worth price of admission. Loved it. What I didn't like are the little pecks, the little small donut pecks. I think it's $6 for a couple of bucks. I think we had some Nutella ones. And maybe I'm not eating them correctly. So that might be some of the case also. It might not just be that that I'm crazy about them, but I had some and they weren't that serious. I got to come back to that again. The donut quality was on point. The little peck inside where you take out the frost. Somebody may have to show me how to eat those. Or maybe I'm just a fat boy that wants to eat big old donuts and is not interested, and I was disappointed because I wanted more frosting. Who knows? It could be one of those things. Regardless of the situation, let me tell you this. So the Salty Doughnut is worth the trip. It's worth the right price of admission. The great thing is they don't have a set menu, so there's a couple of staples that they continue to do every week, but they always come up with new stuff. And that's what makes it great, because you know they care not just about selling you something, but continue to evolve, continue to give the customer something different, or leave something off the menu for a while, let you crave it, they bring it back in. These guys have done their homework. I think their branding is on point. I think the donut is on point at its simplest form. And they have they're gluten-free, people. You know what I mean? Get healthy on your boy. Definitely like Salty Doughnut. I wrote some stuff on Google about it, but now you get to hear the voice and get to hear directly what I feel about it. It's your man Jay Blaze. Follow me at JBlaze305, or continue to just follow his right here on YouTube, as we got more of these coming up. Thank you guys for listening. Any feedback, anything you hear wrong, definitely help me, man. I'm trying to make it better. I don't think I'm the best. I just want to give people that love food and want to get an experience that's different a great time. So I appreciate you. Thank you. Until the next time, right here on the Miami Foodies Podcast. Thank you.